we're on page Lamed here. Here, take my book. Now today, because you came in sort of the middle of this, which is nothing wrong with that, but I'm going to give you a little bit of an explanation of what we're talking about here. About 300 years ago, there appeared a person in Judaism called the Baal Shem Tov. And the Baal Shem Tov came to wake the Jews up. The Jews were depressed. They had lost the main element of Judaism. We want to call it the oil of Judaism, happiness. Like you have a machine, if you oil it, everything runs. Happiness comes from really knowing and feeling and believing in your goal. Right? You see people are really happy. You go to a football game, a baseball game, everybody knows who they're cheering for, they know what they're there for. Each team has their cheerleaders, they know clearly what the rules are and what the goal is. And they know that only if they're happy and they're positive, that can you win. The same thing is even in war. Even in war, when two sides go to war is already not a baseball game or a football game. If you lose, you go home. Here, if you lose, you die in a war. But nevertheless, the side that's happy, positive, has a much, much better chance of winning than if they're not. That's the whole miracle of Hanukkah we're going to come up to now. That there were only 13 Maccabim, or whatever, Hashmonaim, only 13 of them. And they fought against tens of thousands. That's what Rashi says. And they fought against tens of thousands of the enemy. How could they even...
Well, maybe it started with 13, but then more came.
Yeah, and then more came. Could be. Right, certainly. But nevertheless, even to start with 13, who starts 13 people against 20, 40, 50,000 of the well-trained enemies in year 13? I mean, even Bruce Lee didn't do anything like that.
They're from Brooklyn.
Huh?
They're from Brooklyn.
No.
The Brooklyn Jews are tough.
First of all, this is not true because there was no Brooklyn in those days, but there were Jews, you're right. And not only that, 99% of the Jews were against them. 99% of the Jews, they sided with the with the Greeks. So how could anybody think that in a million years that they could win? They just didn't go in just to die, kamikazes. They went in to live. They wanted to win. How could they win? So they had to have a positiveness, a certain... Well, the fact is that Jews in the world are in a big battle. And the battle is mostly against ourselves. In other words, each person against his own self. Our attitude. And if one person really gets the proper attitude, is he can change the whole entire world. Like a little bit of light pushes away a lot of darkness. The problem is, how do you get this attitude? So, up to about 300 years ago, this attitude of joy and sacrifice for Hashem was pretty much taken, I don't want to say for granted. It was an obvious thing. Jews, there was no such thing as Jews that denied God. It didn't exist. Jews denying God's existence didn't exist. There were Jews that said, we deny that God has power. Can you close the door, please? There were Jews that said God doesn't have the power to do certain things, or there were Jews that said maybe God left us and he took another religion, or God's not. But Jews saying there was no such thing as God didn't exist. 300 years ago started a new thing of Jews that said there's no such thing as God. You want to believe in him? Okay. It's your psychological thing. That's how it...
So even was the Hachasidus, the ones who didn't accept the oral Torah,
that was the Sadducees.
They still believed that God...
Yeah, sure, they believed in God. Of course they did. But came Moses Mendelssohn and those people, and they said, God is a historical figure. The Jews used to believe in him. It's a psychological thing that, people have psychological needs, but, that helps you to deal with the unknown, with the mysterious in the world, people who need crutches. So they have to you have to have God, but it's very interesting. God is very interesting, and it's very complex and wondrous, and It's like even more so than ancient Chinese literature or than Sanskrit. Judaism is very interesting, and people actually believe this stuff for thousands of years. But it doesn't. It's not really real. So what happened is that these ideas, unfortunately, really took root in a lot of Jews, and in addition to the troubles that were occurring to the Jews in those days, there was the massacres of Khmelnytsky in all of Europe. He went and murdered, raped, killed, terrible, most. And then there was Shabbatai Tzvi, who was a false messiah, and he convinced, he convinced the Jews that all of your troubles and problems are only to bring to me. Here, I'm going to save you. And it ended up he was a total faker. He had none of the qualities of Mashiach whatsoever. And it was a tremendous, a letdown, a disappointment for all the Jewish people. And Jews started saying, what do we need this Jewish stuff for? What's the purpose? Let's just intermarry and just, finish the whole thing. And that's when came Mendelssohn and these people, the Enlightenment movement, said, yes, you've finally seen the light, and now thousands of years we've suffered under this ignorance, this cloud of ignorance that God exists and He's going to help us, and He took us out of Egypt and things like that. Now we are enlightened. We're going to be like the non-Jews. You see how wonderful and civilized the non-Jews are, and we're going to be like them. And we're going to cast off this old bondage of ignorance and things like that. Good. So came along the Baal Shem Tov, and the Baal Shem Tov said, you can do whatever you want to, but let's be realistic here. Let's be realistic. The fact is God really does exist, and God is really good, and God really does care, and God really does help, and He's really a Melech, Ozer, Moshiach, Mogen, and every word of the Torah is holy, and every Jew knows this. Every Jew knows it. From the inside of his soul, he knows it. He knows it. Not only that, every Jew is willing to give his life for the fact that God exists, even though he's going to lose everything. That's what we got from Abraham. And this is what's called true happiness. Like going into battle. The person goes into battle, he's fighting for a really good cause, and he's willing to give his life for the cause. He doesn't want to give his life, but it's not important to him. What's important to him is the goal. So the Jews have a goal of improving the whole world, bringing blessing to the whole world, bringing meaning to the whole world, but it has to be on God's terms. God is the creator. And that's not so easy. So up to now, everybody's trying to make up their own sort of bumbling in the darkness and trying to figure out, what really the answer is. Comes along the Baal Shem Tov and he brings this idea of happiness, revealing the true essence of the Jewish soul. Another name for this essence of the Jewish soul is called Yechidah. It's a Kabbalistic name. There's 5 levels of the soul: Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechidah. Yechidah is the deepest level of the soul, and that is almost synonymous with the Mashiach. Mashiach will reveal this level of the Yechidah of the Jewish soul, and the Yechidah, which is in the Torah, every word of the Torah, every idea of the Torah, the Yechidah, which is in all commandments. And eventually this level of Yechidah, which is present in every aspect of the world. Or in simple language, to reveal the Creator in the creation. Every non-Jew will feel that God is creating him. We'll see that every animal is created by everything is created by God, and God is really, really happy and good. Like it says, we say before we start davening, Oz v'chedva b'makomo. Happiness, Oz, power and happiness is in the place of Hashem. Okay. Will be a human being, a person. Was that clear? Mashiach will be a human being. Will be a person, just like King David, like Moses, like Adam, like Elijah the prophet, but much more gifted than all of them. And he'll have the ability to bring out the good in everything in the world. And commensurately, that's a word, commensurately, together with this, to defeat anything that is evil in the world. Quiet it down. We see now in the world the anti-Semites. Very big popular thing now to be anti-Semites. Anti-Semites are all over the place. The United Nations is anti-Semites, and there's anti-Semites. The Arabs are anti-Semites. And suddenly the Jews also would like to be with the Arabs. What do I say? Like, what is anti-Semitism? Why are Jews leaving Judaism? Because they see 99.99% of the world hates us, so they just join them. Right? It'd be part of the majority rules. Suddenly they start to realize, hey, these people are hating us because they hate good, they hate life, they hate God, they hate meaning. They're hating us for absolutely no reason. Why are they hating the Jews? No reason. It's like the Nazis, they hated the Jews. Why? Because they got the money. So take away their money. That's the problem. Take their money away. Don't let them go into business. Who knows what? You have to kill all of them. You kill all ladies. You kill the babies, right? You have to kill all the old men. These old men, they can't go and take all your money away. Even if it was true, and then they have to go into the other countries. They go to Russia and they kill the Jews in Russia, and they go into here. They're not endangering Germany anymore. No, any Jew is. So the answer is they are endangering. They're endangering at least the Nazis, because their whole thing is that we're the boss, and that's what everybody likes to feel. And the Jews are coming to say, no, there's a creator, and he's the boss of the world, and people don't like that. And every Jew has this message deep inside of him. Every Jew, the most non-religious, anti-religious, right, Jew in the world, carries this message inside of him that God really exists, and God is really good, and God is creating everyone, and God gave us the Torah, and every word of the Torah is holy, and every word of the Torah is a blessing, and every commandment is tremendous joy and happiness, because we're doing what the creator of the universe wants. It's mind-blowing. Okay, so that's the whole idea of Torah Hachasidus. Chassidut is just to bring these ideas out so that we feel it when we learn the Torah, to feel it. And of course, in order to feel it, you have to think about it. It just doesn't come automatically. Look at the sky, and right, a person has to think a little bit, which is not easy to do. You have to think, this is really God's Torah, and especially, what does it mean, God's Torah? You just think, basically, when God creates me, that's the beginning, right? God creates the heavens, He creates the spiritual world. Not bad. Is it really true? Maybe. That's called hitbonenut, thinking about it. Okay, let's go. Vav. 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 Ka'amor. I think we'll learn this, let's say, to the end of this week, I think. I don't know if we'll finish this. We'll start going back to the portions of the week. We'll see. In Torah Ohr. Ka'amor la'el. Like we said before. Mischora shel Chassidut Biat Mashiach, like we said before, Mischora, from the reward, shel, of, Hafatzat, spreading out, Hachasidut, the reward for spreading out these ideas of Chassidut, the uniqueness of the Jews, like I just told you. Biat is a Mashiach, that's the reward, that's the result, that's the goal of these books of Chassidut Chabad, is the coming of Mashiach. From that, Neida, we will know, at Mehuta, what is the essence, the true nature of Chassidut Chabad. Now, Chassidut Chabad is different from any other types of books that there are in the market. Right? Really, there's never been anything quite like it. Chassidut Chabad, the purpose of Chassidut Chabad is to explain the deepest ideas of Judaism, including Kabbalah, and make it practical in the world. Make it practical, not just ideas that help your personality and coaching and things like that. Okay, that has its place, but that's not what Chassidut is. And in a way, that's not really what Judaism is. The purpose of Judaism is not for self-improvement. Self-improvement is necessary. Yes, sir. A person has to be, rid of anxieties and etc. in order to be. But the purpose of Judaism is to make the world better, to bring Mashiach, to reveal God in the world. In order to do that, you have to be, healthy. But the purpose of Chassidut, Chabad, is to bring these deep ideas into reality. Why? What's the purpose of these deep ideas of the reality? It's God, to reveal God, to be acquainted with God. All these deep ideas of Kabbalah are just to tell you how amazing God is that He created all these things. That God created these worlds of Atzilus and Bria and Yetzirah and all these spiritual levels and things like that that are really impressive. You know, you talk to people and you can tell them gematrias, and the gematria of nature is Elohim and Teva. It's very impressive. And there's the angels live in this world and the souls live in this world, and there's different 10 sphirot and this. But the whole purpose of all this is to get you acquainted with God's creations so that you have a little bit of an idea how amazing God is, much more than what you thought. You thought God just creates the world and He creates dogs and cats. That's pretty amazing. God creates a cat. That's just, awesome. You ever look at a cat? It's just incredible how sophisticated they are, graceful. And God is creating, how many cats there are in the world? God creates all this. That's pretty great. God, right? That's like praising Albert Einstein because he's got nice shoes or something. Here, God creates all the spiritual worlds. You know what an angel is? We have no idea. It says in the Tanya, if a person would see an angel, he would go crazy. He would burn up and go berserk. An angel. And God creates billions, unlimited numbers of angels. And each angel, it says, is 1/3 as big as the universe. Some people say 3 times as big as the universe because they're spirit angels. And why does He create all these things? Just so that we should know the greatness of what God is, and that when we do a commandment, we're attached to the Creator, higher than the angels, higher than... And the idea is, it's supposed to bring this into the world to show that the Creator personally is creating this whole world. All of a sudden, everything becomes much more important. That's the idea of Mashiach. Mashiach is going to be a human being that's going to do it. Make the world a whole happy place. People will start thinking deeply and properly. Kol hachidushim shechasidut chidsha, all of the new ideas that Torah Hachasidus brought into the world. Next page on the top. See on the top, only on the top, the big letters. That's right. B'Torah and the Torah, kolel, including havat, bringing, chelek hasod, this aspect of the Torah which is called the secrets, the mysteries of the Torah, liyadei giloi, to be revealed, ba'avodat adam, into the service of man, so that we can actually serve God in a more intimate, real way. God is not just this religious idea for religious people, and for you want to be a religious freak and a fanatic. So God is something that's creating us. God is not a thing, something. God is creating us. It's amazing. And a person starts to really think about this. Hey, life is pretty good. If God is creating me all the time, this is all right. This is all right. But we have to think about it. That's the idea. How do you think? What do you think about it? That's the idea of Chassidus. Gives you what to think about. B'chlalot ha'olam. I'm sorry. Adam. It says, what does it mean? Ha-han-ha-ga. What does it mean, conduct of man? Conducting yourself lifnim mishurat adin, within the letter of the law. B'shinui teva hamidot, and changing the nature of your personality. What does that mean? Instead of doing things for yourself, you do things for the Creator. We talked about this before you came. Very famous book, and there's thousands of them, tens of thousands. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Ever hear of the book? Famous book by Dale Carnegie. It was written more than 100 years ago, I think. Something like that, almost. How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the book is, you want to be successful? Want to be successful? Think about the other guy. Don't think about yourself. What's the goal? That you should be successful. I should get it. But if you want it, don't let people know that you're a bloodsucker and that you're a leech and that you really want to say. Benefit the other people, show them that you're nice, have a smile on your face, the customer's always right, be calm, never get angry, show the other person you care about him more than you care about yourself. It's all just a big trick, and you change your personality. It could be you change your personality that you'll never get mad again. It could be. They have this very NLP, there's these methods they have now about, the oral training or something like that. And then, you change the way you talk, you change the way you walk, you change the way you look, you change the way you act. It's all this behavioristic things. You set new patterns for your this. It's very nice. Very, very nice stuff. But it's all selfish. It's a new type of selfishness, right? It's a very refined selfishness, and it's very nice, but it still is very selfish. What? Secret selfishness, right? In other words, you have the same agenda as everybody else, but you're nice about it. You're nice about it. You don't go stealing and yelling and crying. You're very nice about it. Okay, that's okay. That's really nice. Says that's nice, but that's not the goal of the world. The goal of the world is not that everybody should be nice and should be nice. I mean, really, the fact is, in Germany, before the war, the Germans are well known. They say hello to everybody, and they're very nice to everyone in the street, and they're very polite, and they're very this, right? So all it took was one, right? As soon as they were in a little bit of a difficult situation, it just took one guy to stand up and say, let's take over the world, let's kill everybody. And they say, okay, that's proper. We're doing it because it's we're doing a benefit. We're benefiting the world. Oh, yes, okay. It's justice. We're talking about here doing, thinking, acting, feeling everything for the sake of your Creator, which is pretty good. I mean, we owe our Creator everything. He doesn't expect that much from us. But the problem is it's very difficult. If you do things for yourself, and you're going to get benefit out of it, so it's a good motivation. I'll be a better salesman, I'll be a bit of this, and it works, But to do things, and you're going to have a benefit like Abraham. What was his benefit? He served God. That's a benefit to serve God. What type of benefit is that? I want money, I want success, I want... God will take care of it, don't worry. Well, what if He doesn't take care of it? Not your business. What about the Holocaust? That was not your business. Your business is serve God. Right? Man, I don't know. Doesn't seem so good. Doesn't seem so good to me. That's what it's talking about, changing the nature of your emotions. You do things for the Creator. If things don't turn out the way you want, it could be that's exactly what the Creator wants. Could be. In fact, it is. You have to make a good world. We're not saying things you walk around with barbed wire undershirts or something that you should, suffer. Suffering is not good. Everyone agrees that suffering is not good. But if it's inescapable suffering, then there's something inside of it. You don't have to have really the Torah for this. It's a lesson in reality. Right? Professor Viktor Frankl talks a lot about this. But here we're talking about doing it for the sake of God, and this explains what God is, how infinite God is. So he says that means changing the nature of your personality, not just changing your natural personality to be win friends and influence people, but change the nature of person. You actually do things for the Creator. And if you really do it for the Creator and you don't fool yourself, then it comes out to be a good world. Right? The Creator does not want to... For instance, I'll just give you a simple example. Getting angry is forbidden according to the Torah. You're not supposed to get angry for anything. You're not supposed to get angry. There's sometimes you're supposed to show anger, right? You see your children it says you can show them that you're angry at them, but inside they have to know that you really love them. But to get angry, you're not supposed to get angry. Right? Rare cases. Bichlalat olam, to reveal this godliness in the whole world. Hit arurut me it alfut. Waking up the world from its unconscious state. Enum, these are not, here the third line down, third word from the end. Third line down, third word from the end, enum. Third word from the end, almost. See it after the parentheses? Yes. Huh? You have it? Enum, even this third line down here, I'll show you. Enum, these are not chidushim shekol echad ve'echad, that each and every person mitchadesh, close the window please, mitchadesh mifnei atzmo, on his own, ki'im, but really, ki'im, but rather, Chassidut. He is, last word on the line, he is Chayut Chadash, a new enthusiasm, a new type of life, a new type of enthusiasm. Chayut Atzmi, an essential life that comes from inside of you, from the level of Yechida, the level of Yechida of your own soul. So in other words, to wake up who you really are, and who really are you. Who is a Jew? A Jew is connected in his essence to God. In his essence. That's the level of Yechida. V'kasher chayut chadash zeh, and when this new life of Chassidut, nimshach, is drawn ba'olam, in the world, in other words, not just into the Jewish people, but into the world, Torah Hachasidut, haklalit, general ideas of Chassidut, by means of kavod, kedushat, Baal Shem Tov, and the Rav HaMagid, and the second leader of the Chassidic movement, the Rav HaMagid, Magid of Mezrich. Have you ever heard of these names before? Yeah? And then afterwards, Torah Chassidut Chabad. This is by means of the first Rebbe of Chabad, the one who wrote the Torah, was called a Neshama Chadasha, a brand new soul. Kavod Kedushat Admor HaZaken, the altar Rebbe. Baal Simchat HaGeula, the one who were celebrating his release from prison. This speech was made on Yutet Kislev in 1960, I guess 1965. Tafshin Chav Vav. I don't know, I'm sure it must have been. 1965. Hitchilu kol inyane olam. As soon as this happened, the whole entire world began to live b'chayut chadash, with a new type of life. A new type of life. It's not just us against the world. Jews have to do everything they can to make sure the world has no effect on them. Keep away from the world. As soon as the Baal Shem Tov came, it was exactly the opposite. The purpose of the Jews is to have an effect on the world. Not just we have to stand our own and we have to be worried. Right? There was this Mendelssohn guy. He came along and he said, you have to be a Jew in your house and a man in the streets. Yehudi bebeitecha v'adam b'tzeitecha. When you go on the street, you want to do your superstitions and your rituals and things like that, do it at home. Right? Do it at home, keep it at home. When you go on the street, be normal. And this way you can work the whole thing together. Says the Rebbe, exactly the opposite. Not exactly the opposite. I mean, exactly the opposite attitude. It's not that the world is really real and we have to lock ourselves in the house. Hashem is really real, and the world is the bluff. The world is that's the big lie. Right? The world, we have to transform the world to a good place. I mean, you can see what's happening in the world with the misery, the terrible in the world. I mean, you don't have to look so far. Here, just, 70 years ago? How long was it ago? The most cultured, progressive, scientific, right, the advanced nation in the world, right, Germany, that they had science and art and philosophy, ethics, right, the greatest minds, what is good, what is bad, right? They made a bloodbath, the whole world. They killed 50 million people, just the whole world turned them for no reason, just killed people for no reason, right? And they killed people for philosophical reasons, right? They were better than everybody else. Everybody else is our enemy. We have to kill all of our enemies. These people are trying to destroy the world. Germany has to rule over the world for the benefit of the world, right? And etc. With all these ideas, you see what came out of it. What the world really is. And it's the same world as it was back then. The world is no different than it was back then. It's the same exact world. Right? People are the same as they were before. He says that's the idea of Chassidut. Chassidut is to make everyone realize what the Creator is and how good the Creator is and how the Creator is really creating everything. That's when the non-Jews really realize this. That's the 7 Noahide commandments. It's supposed to come from the Jews. So it says that therefore it gives a new life into the world. Chayut chadash. Chayut atzmi, life that comes from yourself. It's not that we're being convinced by someone else from the outside. We're just being revealed who we really are. It's not really making anything new. It's just revealing the fact that the world is being renewed all the time by the Creator. There's nothing newer than that. That's really fresh. Ubamela automatically nitchadshu bahem kama bakama inyanim. So automatically in the world there will be many, many new things. Eventually the greatest news will be the raising of the dead. God, therefore, for this same reason, namely that there'll be a new life in the world, a new feeling of the value of the soul, who we really are, beginning with the Jews and also the non-Jews. Right? The non-Jews have a soul, and the soul is also spiritual, and it's also godly. It's not the same level of revelation of godliness as the Jews. But the purpose of the Jews is to convince the whole world to feel this soul, to feel who they really are. So because of this, that's the idea of Chassidut. Because of this, Torah to Chassidut is compared to shemen, oil. Oil. Now, what is oil? Torah is compared sometimes to bread. Torah is compared sometimes to water. Right? Water comes from a high place to a low place, water. Torah is compared to wine. That's the secrets of the Torah. Because why is it secrets of the Torah? Because wine, when a person drinks wine, so the insides come out. You realize who the person really is. And also, wine is hidden inside of the grape. And then above that is what's called oil. Oil floats on top of everything. But on the other hand, oil permeates everything. Everything that there is in the world, there's a certain degree of oil in it. Even a rock, that's what he says. There has to be some sort of lubrication, some sort of a lubricant that exists in everything that there is in the world. Some sort of so oil. And in any case, if you take a little drop of oil, falls on your garment, it spreads out. And it spreads out in the garment. That's what oil. On one hand, oil floats above everything. That's like the ideas of Hachasidus to talk about how high God is. But on the other hand, oil permeates everything. That shows how omnipresent God is. God is everywhere. To feel this, the highness of God, and on the other hand, the lowness of God. God is creating everything, He's within everything, enlivens everything. So therefore, Chassidut is compared to oil. Razin de razin. The secrets of secrets. Good? Shemen, oil, who is Nakudat Hatamtzit, is the point of the essence. The Rebbe says in Yiddish here, essence. Shall kol davar, of everything. Oil. Mizeh, from this, muchrach, we must say, she mitzad atzmo, that on its own, oil on its own, muvdal hu, it is separated, mikol davar, from everything. Oil has a different nature than anything else in the world. Nothing else is like oil. Oil on one hand floats above everything, and on the other hand it permeates everything. Ki ba'im hoyata lo shaychad davar prati, because if oil was really connected to any of the things that it floats above or that it permeates, lo yochal, it would not be able to be nekudat tamsit shall kol davar, of everything that there is. Okay, everything has its essential point. Says the Rebbe, the essential point, the essential life force of everything is some sort of oil. Some sort of oil, some sort of lubricant, which is the essential point of everything. A person, when he dies, he dries out. It says a person, from the moment that he's born, starts drying out. Drying out. You ever see older people, whatever, they dry. A dead body becomes dry. Fruits, things like that, they fall on the ground, they dry up. They lose their moisture. Says the Rebbe, this moisture, in its essence, is oil. Oil is an essential thing. Liyoto atzmi nimsahu b'kol davar. It is found in everything. Ki atzmi nimsa b'kol. An essential thing is found in everything. Let's take for an example. Like we said before, there are the heavens, there's the earth, there are people, there are stars, there are plants, there are planets, there are all these things have one thing in common. What is it common? They exist. They have existence. This fact that they exist, on one hand, is found in everything. It exists. Right? On the other hand, the fact of existence itself, right, is above everything. Is above everything that there is. It's the ability for a thing to exist. The ability for a thing to exist, that's the central point from which all existence comes. The fact that there can be such a thing as existence, the potential for existence in the universe, from that comes all the different types of existences that there are in the world. Says the Rebbe, that central point of existence, that can be compared to oil. We'll see why. Davar zeh b'kol inyanim shebepnimiyut Torah. This thing, like everything in the secrets of the Torah. Now, like I said, why does oil have this ability to float above everything? You put oil in any substance, it floats above, it floats up on the top, right? Of everything there, any other liquid. Put it in the liquid, and it always floats up to the top. Where did it get this propensity that it floats up onto the top? Says the Rebbe, because this exists also in the world, and essentially this exists in the Torah. The Torah is the source of the creation of the world. In the Torah, there's what's called the secrets of the secrets. Razin to Razin. The secrets of the secrets. What are the secrets of the secrets? The secrets of the Torah are things which are not accessible to us. The secrets of the secrets, they're not limited to being inaccessible. They're not limited to being concealed. What does that mean? What does it mean? So it means that they're revealed? No, they're not revealed. So they're concealed? No, they're not concealed. What does that mean? It means that they're both. The secrets of the secrets, like existence, right? Can you see existence here? These glasses, you see existence? What are you talking about? I see glasses. I see glasses. I know what you're talking about. Is there such a thing as pure existence without it taking any form? That's above any form. It doesn't make any sense. It says that's almost like this thing about secrets of the secrets, right? On one hand, it's everywhere, everything exists. On the other hand, pure existence, it defies definition. I don't know pure existence, what does it mean? Existence, there's no time, no space, no life, no energy, no definition, no qualities. How could that be? Just pure existence. Makes no sense. So it's on one hand, it's above everything. On the other hand, it's within anything. Well, God creates pure existence. And the essence of the Torah, that's the essence of God. The Torah is above all existence. All existence comes from the Torah. The essence of the Torah is the secrets of the Torah. But there's something even higher, the secrets of the secrets, because this God, who's above everything, he's creating the world. So there's nothing more obvious than that. So to fit this whole thing together and to unify the whole business together, how it is that from the essence of the essence, the secrets of the secrets, comes this physical world that everything contains inside of it some sort of a meaning, and it must not be a mystical, secret meaning. It must be something that's very practical, like the world is practical. But on the other hand, it has to be that we feel the secrets inside of it. We feel that it's godly. Excuse me, this incredibly holistic approach that takes into account the deepest of the deepest, and even the creator of the deepest of the deepest, that's what Chassidut does. So therefore, Chassidut is compared to oil. To take the most deep ideas and to bring them and reveal them into the physical world. And in order to do that, you have to have something that's higher than the deepest ideas. And that's what's going to be called the oil. We'll see. That's why Hachasidus is like the oil. The deepest ideas, that's like wine. To take these ideas and to reveal them so that they become practical and still are attached to being not understandable, that's Toras Hachasidus. In other words, feeling God in everything you do. Simply, that's what it means. Not being selfish, not trying to translate God into what I'm going to get out of it, but to translate God into what God wants from it. Everything there is in the world. Huh? Pretty amazing. This brings a person to a certain type of general positiveness. That life is good, life is meaningful, life is, every instant, I'm special, I'm unique in God's eyes. Let's bring it, here we go. Davar said this, B'chol inyanim, like everything on the inside of the Torah, mitpateh is also revealed in the revealed Torah. Because everything comes from the Torah, in general, there are 4 aspects of the Torah. There's the simple meaning of the Torah. There's 2 aspects which are the like homiletic aspects of the Torah in the Talmud and things, how they learn laws. And then there's the secrets of the Torah. And then there's Chassidut, which brings out the godliness in all these 4 aspects of the Torah. The Rebbe is going to show how. Everything depends on the Torah. If so, this has to be explained in all, has to be present. This essence of God has to be present in all aspects of the Torah. And from it we can see in all aspects of the world. Okay, Herschel. Until b'halacha l'maisa, until the actual laws that we do. We're now in the second paragraph, see? It's right at 4 lines, 4 words from the end. That's right, go to the second line. Second line, mitzad. Oh, that's it, mitzad, see? Mitzad echad. You'll learn how to read without vowels. Of course you will, but it'll take a little bit of time. Not much time. Hashemen eno mitarev. Oil does not mix bishar mashkin and any other liquids. Well, the idich, and on the other side, the idich gisa on the other side, mifafea, it spreads out, bekol davar, in everything. Ulachen, therefore, nimshal ha-Torah, therefore, Torah ta-Chasidut is compared to oil. Ki, because gam ba, because also in it, in the Torah ta-Chasidut, shtei tchunot elu, are these 2 qualities. Mitzad inyana ha'atzmi, from the essence of the Torah, eno mitarevet b'shum davar, it is not mixed in anything. Torah, the Chasidut is not mixed into anything. Etzem nekudat hachayut, this is the essence point of life and being, shalamayla mitpashtut, which is above any sort of limitation. Pure existence. Pure existence is above any sort of limitation. Just take an example. These sunglasses, do they exist? Yes, they exist, but it's a very, very weak example of existence. Why? They're sunglasses, they're here. It says, what? Look, these sunglasses, do they exist here? 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 So it's a very limited example, existence of sunglasses. Are they yellow? No. Are they green? No. Are they... So all these other qualities they don't have. It's a very small type of existence, right? It's a sort of a greenish thing, and they're made from plastic, and they probably 3 years ago they didn't exist, and probably in another 3 years they won't exist. So they're very, very limited an example of existence in time and space and quality. Let's make real sunglasses. What's real sunglasses? They're not limited in time. They're not limited in space, right? Infinite sunglasses. Everything is sunglasses. They're not sunglasses anymore. The infinite world. What are you talking about? Doesn't make any sense. So as soon as you take an example of what existence is, already you've limited existence, and it makes it into a very sort of a weak type of an existence. So if so, we have, on one hand, I'm just giving a simple example, existence on one hand is above any of its examples where it is, but on the other hand, it permeates everything. Everything there exists. Says that's reason. What about the reason for existence? What about the cause? Why a thing exists? That's even higher, and that's also inside of everything. That's also must be inside of everything. Everything must have some sort of a reason for existing, unless you're just a nihilist or something, say nothing is, life is just but a dream. We're talking about God, Judaism. God is creating everything. So everything must have a reason for it also. This reason, that's what Torah Chassidus brings out, the godliness in everything, the meaning in everything. The meaning, okay. Mitzad inyanu ha'atzmi. Okay, so Chassidut, therefore, it is above everything, like pure existence is above everything. On the other hand, it permeates through everything. And even deeper, the reason everything it is existence, that reason is within everything, but on the other hand, its source is above everything. It's totally above. And that's why all these philosophers, I learned a little bit of philosophy. I learned in university, I learned philosophy. Almost all of them do not bring into account the whole idea of a creator. There's a creator that's creating everything all the time. And if they do, for sure they don't bring in the idea of the Torah having anything to do with it. Right? Do it. Why? Because, and they're right, because it's above understanding. Philosophy is using your mind to understand, and they use their mind to understand that it's okay. But don't think it's true. It's just things, how high the mind can get. Interesting, right, to see how what the mind does. And it's like, seeing how the cavemen, how they got along without metal, or how they got along without, how they got along without the wheel, before the wheel was invented. They didn't have the proper vessels. So it's the same thing with the psychiatrists, the psychologists, and all these people, the philosophers. How you can get along without believing in God, without truly believing in God, or believing in some messed up idea of God, a philosophical idea of God, a psychological idea of God, a metaphysical idea of God. Right? Here the Rebbe is talking about God is the creator, creates everything, puts meaning into everything, and everything in the world is here for a purpose. God is creating it all the time. This is totally above understanding, but on the other hand, it's within everything. That's what gives a person also chayut. Chayut. He knows that he's living in a world you can't really understand what's going on, but on the other hand, the Torah explains to us what we can understand. The Torah tells us how yes to use your mind, how yes to use your body, how yes to use your in the way that the Creator wants. And the thing is to feel this. That's the idea of loving God. That's the Hachasidus, loving, having a personal, intimate relationship with your Creator. That's Yechida. That's the inner level, a unification with the Creator. Okay, let's just do a little bit more. Hachayut shebetorah Hachasidus machnisa b'kol inyanei olam. The life which is found in Torah Hachasidut. Of course, we're talking about basically you believe in God. I mean, this takes a lot for granted. Chassidus is for people that they make a decision, they're going to believe in God. Chassidus is not there to convince you that God exists. Right? You believe in God, and it's not that hard to believe in God because every Jew automatically believes in God. Down deep, he believes in God. Just has to touch on this point. And you have to learn the ideas, and you have to think about the ideas, and decide for yourself if it's really real or not. It's not that you're going to learn and all of a sudden it's going to pop to be it's a thing you have to think about constantly, and it's a thing you have to work against your nature constantly. Right? It's a thing you have to work out on every single instant of your life. It's against nature. It's defying your own nature. Chassidut. But on the other hand, you have the motivation to do it. Chayut Shabbatot, like I said in the beginning of the class, it's like a war. That's the 9th chapter of the Tanya. It's a war. Chayus at Torah, you're warring against yourself. excuse me, the life of the Torah, the Chassidut, puts life into everything in the world. Ha'olam, katan za'adam, the small world, that's man. The olam, and the simple, the world, all around us. Nimshechet me'achayut shechasidut machnisa b'kol inini Torah uba al yedei chayut zu. And it comes by means of this life. Ki kol inyani habriya, everything in the world, nimshachim, comes from the Torah. Uboim al yada, and everything in the world comes from the Torah. And the life and meaning and everything in the world comes from the Torah. Who would ever dream? Right? The Torah is not just another book in the library. It's not part of the world. The world is part of the Torah. The Torah, there are 4 aspects of the Torah. Pshat, Remez, Drush, and Sod. 4 aspects of the Torah. Pshat, Remez, Drush, and Sod. Pshat is the simple meaning of the Torah. Right? There was a person, his name was Abraham, and he married a lady, and her name was Sarah, and they had children, right? They had Yitzchak, they had Ishmael. Sarah didn't have Ishmael, but Avram had Ishmael. And these things really happened. There was really a person called Abraham, and really a woman called Sarah, and there was their son was called Yitzchak, and Abraham also had another son with Hagar, called Ishmael. These were historical facts. That's the Pshat. That's the simple meaning of the Torah. It's called Pshat. Then there's what's called Remez. There's the hints of the Torah. Right? The hints of the Torah. Why Adam married Sarah, why it was Dafka her, that was specifically her that she married, and what the hints said, what Avram, what it means, and what Sarah means. Then there's also Remez, there's Drush, also stories about what Abraham did. Avram was in the fiery furnace, Midrash, and things like that aren't written in the Torah. Then there's secrets, right? Abraham is the soul, Sarah represents the body. Secrets of the Torah. Chassidut comes to put godliness, Jewishness, into all these 4 types. A non-Jew can also read the Torah. A non-Jew can also read Kabbalah. A non-Jew, it's possible to learn Kabbalah and be an expert in Kabbalah and totally not believe in God or the Torah or that Judaism is special or anything. It's just very interesting, and it is interesting. Right? There's Kabbalah centers and Kabbalah clubs and Kabbalah groups and Kabbalah seminars. In Kabbalah, you can learn Kabbalah. In universities, they taught the Talmud. They say that there's people in South Korea that they realize that learning the Talmud is going to make you smarter. So they learn the Talmud to make you, what about God? It makes you smart. You learn these ideas in the Talmud, you learn them. I mean, eventually I hope they'll become smart enough that they'll realize that they've been tricked. Whoever is selling them all these Talmuds, right, is making a fortune. They'll get a little sense, oh, I see you got smart already. Heart image is smart. You realize you're being, right? Nevertheless, the Talmud makes it, okay, you can learn the Talmud, and you can learn Torah, and you can learn mitzvahs, and totally have no connection whatsoever with God. Nothing whatsoever. It doesn't change your life one iota. Nothing whatsoever. That's what Chassidut comes to the world, is in order that this should not happen. That people should learn the Torah in awe. It should be an amazing, holy, mind-blowing experience that you learn the Torah. Same ideas. It's not that you learn the Torah, wow, right? But it's just inside deep, you realize, well, this is incredible. I mean, I'm really learning what God wants me to learn. You know, what do you mean God wants? This is an argument between Abaya and Rabbah, between Hillel and Shammai. This is just arguments between rabbis. I said, you know what these rabbis are? These people could raise the dead. You realize these people these people are dealing with these simple ideas. They're trying to put godliness into simple ideas. That's the whole point. And that's our point of our lives also. As Chassidus will teach us to do, as we will continue, God willing, tomorrow.